Unidentified flying objects, flying saucers. Are they visitors from outer space, guests from other galaxies, or are they just part of man's unreal imagination? We'll investigate tonight on the amazing world of Kreskin. And here is Kreskin.
You know, boy, if there ever was a cliffhanger for a program, I've got to stay tuned to the end. I asked just before I walked on stage, maybe 20 seconds earlier, how many people play poker in the audience, and one man near the front raised his hand. Would you kind of stand, please, sir? And since you volunteered, come on up here. You didn't realize I was going to ask you. Come up, my friend. What's your name?
Mike.
Mike, step forward. I just sit in that chair there. I hope, Mike, that you don't know what I'm going to do you?
No, I don't.
No. I hope you brought some money with you. Really, we haven't prearranged anything, have we, Mike? We're going to have, well, I've dealt poker hands to Werner Klemper, to you name the guests through the years, but this is, I think Mike will be the first to admit a straight deck of playing cards. Am I correct? Yes. The jokers have been removed. In fact, maybe we can get this on camera. It's fairly shuffled. Oh, here we are. We've got some cards, the jokers in the middle of the deck. And let me make certain, if I may, that our cards are all here, because believe me, if they're not, we've got problems. All right. Now, Mike, instead of shuffling the deck and stacking it so that when I deal, you end up with a perfect poker hand or so forth, I'm going to give you a few cards in the deck and show you what can be done with a limited amount of cards. Incidentally, I think this is about the more thorough shuffle of all of them. Let me take 10 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We're going to play five-handed poker, Mike, in which I can only get 5 cards, you can only get 5. We'll make the very best we can of those 5 cards. Is that clear? Mm-hmm. Let me shuffle these 10 cards in all. That was done very well, folks. I spent years on that. And square up the deck. And, Mike, you take the cards in your hand, as if you were going to hold them face down. Now, Mike, deal the cards. 1 to me, 1 to yourself, face down, face down. Incidentally, you're going to lose this hand.
I don't doubt it.
You don't doubt it, Mike. Now, Mike, pick up the cards. Look at them if you will. Fan them out in front of you, and there's a little camera there so you can show them about like that. Just look. Put down the best meld you have in your hand. What do you have?
From now face up?
Yes, put it face up. Pair of 9s? Well, Mike, I kind of beat you because I have here a pair of jacks. So as I promised, I was going to beat you, but Mike, let's try it again. This time, Mike, we're using the same cards. I can't change them. Sure, you can say, in shuffling, I can stack the cards. Let me show you something. Hold them face down. Now, Mike, when you deal this time, let's say those cards are stacked. You deal as many cards as a time to me and to yourself as you want. You can deal 2 at a time, 1 at a time, and then 2 at a time. Start with me and start dealing face down.
I'll lose again?
You're going to lose again. 2 to yourself. You've got to deal evenly. All right, 3 to me. Now, 3 to me, and then how many? Go ahead.
2 to me.
1. No, you've got to deal them back and forth. Actually, I don't even think he dealt in the... you're supposed to deal to me first. Do you understand? It would be illegitimate. Okay. You can have choice on it, but deal to me first, Mike. What do you think? I'm a magician? As many as you want. 2. Now, the reason I did is because he gave himself 3 cards and he gave me 2, and it would have been uneven. Now, by God, if I win this time, I'm going to be the most stunned person alive. Pick up your hand, Mike. Dealt 2 at a time, then what'd you do? 2 at a time and then 1. Put down the best meld you have in your hand, Mike. What is it?
I got the jacks now.
You've got just 2 jacks? Well, that's interesting because, God, I only have 2 9s. I said I was going to beat you, but I've got 2 4s as well, Mike. That wild? Isn't that wild? Now, Mike, remember, let's start with me, because this would be the normal way to deal. You can deal hold them face down on your hand, deal as many as a time. You can deal all 5 at once, but don't play into my hands. I may be forcing him. Deal as many at a time as you want to me and then to yourself. The same amount back and forth. 1 at a time. 2 at a time. Well, that's rare, because a person will usually deal the higher number first. Make the best you can of your hand, Mike. I said I would beat him every time. Make the best and put down your best meld, Mike. Put it down, please. What do you have? What is it?
Pair of jacks.
Pull them out. Push them out. Well, here he gave me a pair of 9s and 2 4s. I beat you again with 2 pair. I want to show you that this is not just chance, because every time, folks, there was no way of my knowing how he would deal. Mike, take them in your hand again. Hold it face down. Now, you decide how you're going to deal, but not just yet, because start to deal now. In fact, wait a minute. You'll win this time. I'll make you win. Deal him face down. Deal him face down. Go ahead, Mike. Any way you want. I don't care if back to yourself or you deal. Any way you want. Mike, put down. Any bets on this one? I'll change your cards by doing that. Put down the best meld you have.
3 jacks.
And 3 jacks. He had a full house, which beat my 3 4s. He did win. Thank you, my friend. We'll be back in a moment. Thank you.
Our guest tonight is one of the world's foremost authorities on unidentified flying objects. He is the writer of the book, The UFO Experience, and he is the chairman of the Department of Astronomy at Northwestern University, Dr. J. Allen Hynek.
I was to lace those things right down there. I had the distinct privilege of meeting you about a couple years ago, year and a half ago.
That's right. Mm-hmm.
And so much has happened. I suppose, and it's one of the most discussed subject matters. The book, by the way, UFO Experience, is absolutely fascinating. I read it a little while ago. What is a UFO? Because I think that's preferred over flying saucer.
You know, I really wonder why you have me on this program. You're the mentalist. You should tell me.
Oh, my gosh. No.
Well, of course, the U in UFO means unidentified. And I think right in the beginning we ought to have clear that we're not talking about the identifiable things. I have a few identifiable ones right along. Could I show you one right now?
These are identifical, Doctor.
Oh, yeah, these are identifiable.
Which camera, right
why
here?
don't you...
All right.
The way you want.
What is this?
This is a searchlight, you see, that's playing on the clouds at night, and it's a very obvious thing. I mean, it wouldn't fool anybody, but sometimes it's been reported as a UFO. And here is a cloud, a lenticular...
You know, I would never know that it was a cloud.
That's just a cloud. It's common in the western part of the United States. It's a lenticular cloud.
Yes, I see.
And here's another identified one. Sometimes we get hoaxes, you know.
Yes, yes.
And this is a slightly out-of-focus photograph of a banana split sundae.
You are kidding me. Oh, my gosh. That is...
That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about the ones that you might say stump the experts.
And offer no available information in light of present knowledge.
This is right. They're really mysteries.
Tell me, what percentage? It's a small percentage. Of course, if it were only 2, it would be significant, I think, and I think you'd probably feel that way.
It's more than 2. Yeah.
It's more than 2 out. I mean, 2 out of all the. What percentage would you say are really UFOs of all the sightings?
Well, about 20% actually of all the ones that we've had in the Air Force. You know, of course.
You mentioned the Air Force now.
I was scientific consultant to the Air Force for 20 years. In fact, I got into it because I was an astronomer. The Air Force needed an astronomer to weed out the meteors, the twinkling stars, and things like that. And we found that about 30% could be explained that way. And another 50% or so could be explained as aircraft, balloons, and so forth. But there was this hardcore residue of 15 to 20%.
That high.
That just couldn't be explained.
What is it that we keep hearing about? You had mentioned it in your book that it was a common theory, swamp gases. Is that a significant explanation for a certain percentage?
No,
it is not.
No, it isn't. That was a very...
And we've been told that it is by some so-called, authorities.
Well, this was a... You got me on the spot there because I was the one who perpetrated that thing.
You're kidding me.
Way back in Michigan, in Hillsdale,
yes.
Michigan.
Yes.
I, at that time, simply said that since the lights were seen over a swamp, I said, well, one possible explanation was that this could be swamp gas. But the reporters underlined swamp gas and ran off to the telephones. Yeah. And I think any time after that, if a UFO had been seen in the Sahara Desert, it would have been called swamp gas, you see.
I think some of us who followed this whole phenomena became interested in the Condon report, I guess,
oh, yeah.
which is how many years ago that it reached a fruition, or did it reach a climax?
It was issued in 1969.
It seems more recent, yeah. And what was the conclusion, and what's your feeling about that?
Well, my feeling is that the Condon report was a travesty on science.
Yeah.
It just simply was the methods used. In fact, Dr. Condon didn't investigate one case.
He didn't?
No. Personally, he never investigated a single case.
And yet they came out negative, but you don't feel they presented a fair picture?
Well, actually, if you read the report from cover to cover, and that's difficult because it's 947 pages.
Sounds like the Warren Commission.
Yeah, you'll realize that there's a very real problem there because the Condon Committee was unable to explain 1/4 of the cases that were submitted, that they studied.
I'm curious, and I think everyone is now thinking the obvious question. How did they handle that in their report, the ones they couldn't explain?
Well, very nicely and very adroitly, is the word. Dr. Condon wrote the summary and completely neglected the contents of the report.
Oh, well, I remember reading in the prologue of this book a quote of William James, a great psychologist, which in essence said that even scientists are not too enthusiastic about accepting something that they don't understand. They're just not ready to. And I think if it were mainly, we couldn't explain most of it as hallucination, could we? Because there's too many physical evidences that are unexplainable.
Well, as a scientist, the ones that I've been studying are those that have physical evidence. For instance, the close encounters of the second kind that leave marks on the ground and stop cars and that sort of thing.
Stop cars?
Oh, yeah. There are hundreds of cases where, all over the world, you see, if these things didn't fit patterns, if each case were different from the next one, then there's no way of studying it. But when you get reports from Australia, Japan, France, northern Canada,
that say in essence what?
That give you the same pattern, then you have to say, well, either there's a virus going around that's causing everybody to become crazy at the same time, or there's something to it. Now, of course, remember that we're still talking about the unidentified ones, not the great majority, which can have perfectly natural explanations.
Yes.
So we must take that out before. Now there is since you are a mentalist, I'd like to start a foundation, the Kreskin Hynek Foundation, for this investigation of the cases which I do not deal with generally, because they seem to have an element of the parapsychological in them. There's just no question that some of the reports seem to tell of the sort of thing that you find in poltergeist phenomena.
Really?
Things of that sort.
That's interesting. You know, when I first met Dr. Hynek, it was regarding the small percentage that could be mass hysteria or suggestibility. And even though I'm going to show something later on dealing with that factor, it could only explain a small percentage of really something that I think has to be opened again, reinvestigated, because the unknown is only unknown because at the moment we don't understand it. I thank you, Doctor, thank you for coming, and I'd like to have you back again to spend more time. Stay with us. We'll be back in a moment. Dr. Hynek's book is The UFO Experience, a Scientific Inquiry, and that's, I think, what we need more of in this whole field. Now, I have some people here on stage. Through the months of my past year, and this year as well, you've seen me demonstrate the power of suggestion. I have said there's no hypnotic trance, and there's growing evidence that nobody has ever been in a hypnotic state. Hypnotists, of course, are disagreeing with me. But if they are disagreeing with me, let them prove there's a hypnotic state. And I must tell you something honestly now. There is no evidence known to science that anybody has ever been put in a hypnotic state. Let me show you with people wide awake what we can do with suggestion, and I think that's the key to this. All of you folks, and I've tested them before the program, by the way, I haven't put you in any trance in any kind, and you haven't been in any trance in any way, shape, or form. We can talk about it. Matter of fact, all of you, sitting as you are, close your eyes, Now, there's a key word that I have given them to understand so that no one watching can be receptive to my suggestion, only those on camera. Think the key word now. And the amazing thing is you can't open your eyes and try in every way, shape, or form. It's impossible. Indeed, the more you try to open your eyes, the more totally impossible it becomes. And they're struggling. What's it seem like, miss, as you're trying?
They just seem glued
Isn't
shut.
that wild? There's a fellow back here who looks like he's out of control. What's it seem like?
It's glued down.
It's glued, and you're trying truly, aren't you?
Yeah.
All right, now let me give you a key word, release. How did that seem to you?
Like you had no control.
And you
know?
tried. You tried to open your eyes?
Yeah.
Well, I want all of you now to raise your... Let me try something as a matter of fact. I'm going to illustrate this. Your arms, have them in front of you like this, as if you were going to roll them. Now watch me. Just cheerleader fashion. I start to roll my arms, and I start to move them faster, and you do the same thing. Now look at your arms. Although when I have you think the key word, it doesn't matter. It won't matter at all. As a matter of fact, in a moment, when you think the key word, your arms are out of control, you will not be able to stop them. Think the key word now. And the amazing thing is they're totally out of control. You can't stop. Try. If you try, they go faster. Try in every way, shape, or form. In fact, when I say the key word stop, they'll stop frozen rigid in front of you. Stop! You can't bend your arms. You can't move. Try in any way, shape, or form. Try. Try to move, my friend. Try as hard as you can. It's becoming rigid, more locked in every way, shape, or form. Try as hard as you can. What's the matter, man? What's the matter?
Can't move.
What's the matter?
I'm glued.
You're glued. My friend, you're really in a great position. What's the matter?
They're clamped or something.
They're clamped, and they really are. What's the matter, my friend?
No hope.
There's no hope. You can't. As a matter of fact, again, they will start again now, spinning faster than ever, totally out of control, totally out of control. Now, as I say the word release, they stop. They totally stop. Release in every way. As a matter of fact, you can put your arms down, relax in every way, shape, or form. Look at me, please. Look at me. Your arms relax now. You can get them down. All of you close your eyes. Think the key word. And your eyes are now stuck. You're perfectly awake, but you can't open them. Try. You again can't open your eyes, can you, miss?
No.
What's it seem like, sir, when you try?
4 o'clock in the morning.
4? What did you say? What did you say?
It feels like early in the morning. I can't...
And you can't open your eyes, can
No,
you?
sir.
It's impossible. Now listen to me, all of you. You're perfectly awake. In a moment when you open your eyes, we're going to go to a brief break. You'll be able to put on some heavy clothing and some boots. You're going to go outside. You'll be outside, and a gentleman from the news department is going to speak to you. When I walk outside, the moment I drop a handkerchief, you will all hear a tremendous noise in the sky outdoors. You will look up in the sky, and you will all see vividly, as clear and as real as can be, 3 flying saucers scooting through the sky. You will actually see 3 flying saucers scooting through the sky as vividly as can be. You'll comment on them. You'll want to talk about them. Now, when I say the word release, you'll be able to open your eyes, and then you will be escorted outside. You will see nothing in the sky except what is there until you see me drop a handkerchief. Now, release. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be back in just a very few seconds as we prepare to leave to the outdoors. I'm going to now turn the program over to Max Keeping and our subjects, and I will join you people in just a moment.
Do you believe in flying saucers?
No, sir.
Have you ever seen one?
No, I haven't.
How about you?
I believe in them.
Have you seen one?
I can't affirm that I've seen one, but I thought that I saw a few.
Anybody operating it?
I never was inside one. It was in the air.
Have you ever...
No, I've never seen
Do you believe in it?
I don't know.
Do you really think there are unidentified
I think
flying
there's a
objects?
possibility, sure.
Do you think something exists out there in space?
Definitely, yes.
Have you ever seen a flying object?
No.
Saucer, nothing? Haven't
Well, some strange lights, but never really.
Haven't
something
seen the
definite.
ground scorched, or...
No.
How about you over here? You believe in flying saucers?
Yeah, I do.
Have you seen one?
No, I don't think
What
so.
makes you believe in them?
Well, I've read about them, and I believe what I read.
You believe there are people out there in space?
Probably. There may not be people, but there's things out there. So.
How about you? What do you...
Well, I don't believe there's flying saucers, but there could be life somewhere else.
You believe there may be men in Mars, then?
Yeah, it could be.
How about you?
Well, I believe in them, but I've never seen one.
What makes you believe in them?
Well, what I've heard, and read in magazines and things like that.
But you have no evidence, no...
Well, no, but I still believe in them.
What do you believe?
Oh, I don't know, really. If I had some proof, I suppose I would.
You think there might be?
Oh, sure.
How about you, sir? Do you believe in flying saucers?
I believe the possibility of them, and I'd love to see one.
What?
I see something red up there.
A flying saucer. Can you see that? Three. There's three of them. Three of them. Red and gold, and you know, did you see it?
Where? It's got what on it?
Right there. Can't you see them?
Three red, they're following one another. No, it's
What do you see there, sir? Something red. I don't know what.
Look, it's green.
Look at it.
What does it look
They're
like?
white. They're right up there. They're flying around.
What does it look like?
If they're white. They were white. There were three red.
Is there anybody?
They're white.
I can't tell them. Look at them. It's green. Look up there. It's green. Green ones moving
Well,
around
how
over
many of them
there.
are there?
There's three of them. One's kind of reddish. One's sort of silver.
I don't know
Look.
what they are.
Look up there. It's moving around.
Show me where you see it.
Right there.
Can I find a telephone? Where can I get to a telephone?
What is it?
They're yellow. It's white.
Well, what color is it?
They're white. They're white. They're
Well,
little
how many
white.
of them-
There's
Do you want
three.
How many of them are there?
Three. They're white and they're flying around up there. I see them. They're white.
This red,
How many-
it's sort of like a half a circle, and it's like...
And what do
And
they
there's a
look
green
like?
one
What
and there's a
shape?
white one. Yellow one. This kind of, and they're flying.
They're green.
Where's our telephone man? Did he come back here? Did we get him back here? Where's our fella? He's looking for a telephone? Looking for a telephone. Some people are trying to get help, I guess.
The tower
Sir, why you want to call him?
Past the tower, about this way.
I don't know.
What's the
You know, I
shape
thought we should report it,
Because this one's a half, like a half a moon with the red.
They're coming in sight now.
No, that one is
Red,
it's shaped
with a
like
red and a gold and
like
it's shaped
an
like
oval or
a,
something.
you know, they're shaped like a big,
What shape is it?
Orange.
well, they're, you know, reddish orange.
Orange, yeah, right. What color are they?
Well, there's a white one, there's a green one, there's one.
It's red.
Is it like a
It's
saucer?
not all of them. There's a green one there too. It's too far.
They're white.
On the telephone, I still think we ought to find a telephone and call somebody and let them know, you know.
They're not.
I called and nobody knows what a telephone is. What's wrong with this place around here, you know?
What do you see?
My
Well,
God.
they
My
were there,
gosh.
but they're
Max,
gone now.
What did you see?
Pardon me, sir?
Yellow in the sky. There was
just
two
talking.
yellow
I hate
things.
to tell you folks this,
But they're
but
gone.
the three, one of them is going to start to
What
come
does it
down
look like?
towards the ground about
Just
100 feet over.
an
1, 2,
oblong
3, there it
thing,
comes
and they
now.
were
It's
streaming
coming towards the
out
ground.
quietly,
Wait,
and
stay
they
here.
disappeared.
Stop. Come back here. Come back. Wait, stay here. Folks,
can't see
folks,
anything
if you
now.
will, come back here. It's moving away. Come back. What's the matter,
Gone.
please, ma'am?
Oh,
Where is it? Point it out to me. It's right there. Point it out to me. Max, if you'll join us.
You still see
Right
something
there.
there?
If you'll join us. May I say this to all of you
what
subjects?
color-
Max, may I say this to all of you subjects? The word release. Release. Over here, I said up. I said release. Max, you want to ask them about their sighting?
You were just telling me that you saw some oblong shapes
two
up there.
yellow oblong things.
Release.
streaking
It's
through
all
the
gone.
sky.
Sir, what about the saucers?
What saucer?
Didn't you just see saucers in the sky? No? You saw none? Miss, what were you saying about saucers in the sky?
I didn't see any.
What were you saying about saucers in the sky?
Nothing. I didn't.
You?
I think you flipped your lid.
What were you saying, sir, about getting the police?
I didn't say anything about police at all.
Have you ever seen any flying saucers?
No.
Well, Dr. Hynek, I don't know where our time is, but it's been a pleasure to have you here. This does not answer the entire phenomena. It's only a small percentage that might suggest suggestibility. When you think about it, 40-some years ago, Orson Welles did something which caused many, many people to see rather vividly in New York City and New Jersey similar phenomena, and I wonder, perhaps it could happen again. Goodbye, everybody. Be the good Lord willing. I'll see you next week.